two more issues. Now, this slide might be a slightly strange slide to finish with, but I want to say that this slide illustrates, I think, what we don't want in REDD, okay? And this is actually, I took this from a presentation. It was at a UN REDD side event in Barcelona just the week before last. And the slide before this was the DRC, a before and after. And the Democratic Republic of Congo was identified as the country. Then the presenter went on to this slide and didn't identify which country this was. All he said was that it was not a developing country and didn't name it. And so I asked, well, which country was it? Because if you're prepared to name the DRC, why, if this isn't a developing country, then it's obviously an Annex I or a developed country. So there's a transparency issue here. So which country is it? And the presenter said that he actually couldn't say. And so then afterwards, someone told me, well, this is actually Quebec, and this is Canada. Okay, so this was Quebec in 1991 on the left. This is Quebec in 2002 on the right. And I would say, this is actually what we wouldn't want to see in REDD. But so saying, I think in terms of, so there's an issue of transparency here, and I'm saying that it's in developed countries as well as developing countries. And I do think that Guyana is showing a way forward as far as this is concerned, as far as transparency issues are concerned. And I think that definitely we have a good start, but there's a long way to go. I also think, finally, that for the last year, a lot of us who've been involved in REDD have been engaged in what I would call the REDD rush. I mean, it's been a manic agenda, and I think it's actually unprecedented. And I think it's probably after Copenhagen, it's not going to slow down that much, but I think we do need to take time to develop the standards necessary and address the issues that we think have been falling between the cracks until now. And I think one issue is governance, and I think another issue is monitoring beyond carbon. And I think we have an opportunity here for Guyana to show the way on this, and it would be very encouraging if they could. And I would like to thank you and thank the President for coming. And turn this off.
Duncan, do you want to sit down or do you want to? Right, okay.
Thanks. Good afternoon. My name is Duncan McQueen from the International Institute for Environment and Development. I've been asked to talk this afternoon on an independent review of the consultation process that Guyana undertook in order to review and revise its low-carbon development strategy. I'm going to talk about the process. I'm going to talk about what that process added, and I'm going to talk about some shortcomings, and then I'm going to give you a few conclusions. The process of consultation coincided with the launch of the Low Carbon Development Strategy on the 8th of June. It was a 3-month initial consultation process. We helped to develop some best practice indicators based on prior work with National Forest Programs, the FLEG-T initiative, Accountability International's standards on consultation, and so on. We developed some principles which the government of Guyana put forward and we endorsed as best practice. Transparency, inclusivity, a number of other indicators. At the end of the consultation process, we did an independent review of people who'd taken part in those consultations, and they scored them from all different stakeholder groups. So transparency scored between 1 and 10, scored an 8, inclusivity 8, information and timeliness 6, representation 8, flexibility 7, clarity 7, accountability 7, continuity yet to be decided. Gives you a flavor of what people thought independently of that consultation process. What was the process? Well, it involved a massive publicity outreach through independent television, all different radio channels, a dedicated low carbon development strategy website, a jingle, published a question and answer document, information packs. It involved independent oversight through a multi-stakeholder steering committee that comprised Amerindian groups, civil society organizations, private sector representatives, that really determined the process of the consultations. It was built around 15 subnational consultations, primarily directed at Amerindian areas, indigenous areas. These were held in the 10 regions of the country between June the 19th and the 7th of July. And another 30 awareness sessions with specific stakeholder groups from industry, labor, private sector, civil society, indigenous peoples, women and youth. The Low Carbon Development Strategy was debated in the newly constituted National Tashaus Council, which comprises 174 elected members from all Amerindian communities in all regions of the country. There was significant free press coverage in all major newspapers, both for and against the Low Carbon Development Strategy. We commissioned David James, an indigenous lawyer, to conduct an assessment of how the consultation process fitted with free, prior, informed consent. And he came back with a broadly positive view, both of what had happened and of the precedent it set. There was a comprehensive analysis of the main points raised in these sessions by the Government of Guyana, and we contributed our own independent assessment of that. So that was the process. What did it add? Well, I think the measure of any consultation process is what it adds to what's originally there in the Low Carbon Development Strategy. And so there were calls for a more comprehensive look at broader low-carbon energy sources, especially solar power, but also including wind and microhydro. There was a call for greater emphasis to the diversification of agriculture and other income-generating opportunities, particularly in the interior. There was a call for careful attention to improving the sustainability of forest management in Guyana, to independent forest monitoring. There was a call for curbing unsustainable and uncontrolled forestry with a more explicit, more stringent control and enforcement, including of smaller operators, chainsaw loggers. There was a call for reforestation activities as a specific activity, an acknowledgement that ecotourism was an important engine for wealth creation in a low-carbon economy,